Hey guys, so I have gotten quite a bit of requests to film a couple YouTube videos on this truck and just kind of go over some details. So I figured that going into the winter here, I would try to do some semi-consistent YouTubing. So we'll see how this goes. But this first video here, I was just gonna start off. I gotta pull this engine and we'll see how this turns out. But the goal is to do a common rail swap on the truck. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but we've got someone that's interested in the engine. So either way, I'm going to pull it because there was some stuff I was going to change on it if I end up keeping it. So that being said, we're just going to get started. This one's probably going to be primarily just some time-lapse videos. I'm going to pull the chargers off and disconnect everything, all the coolant lines and everything like that first, and get it prepped, pull the hood off, and then we'll pull the engine out. So stay tuned, and hopefully it's something I can keep a little bit of consistency with. And then the plan is to kind of go into more specific detail on a lot of questions guys have as far as like some of the wiring that I did and how I tucked that, and just the swap in general, because it is chassis swapped on a 3rd gen chassis. So there's been quite a few questions about that as well. So there's like a lot of custom touches on this one, but hopefully there's some useful information in here for you guys. Feel free to comment any questions below the video and I'll answer everything that I can. I will say I'm not some super talented mechanic. I just, most of this is from watching other people's videos and just learning as much as I can, but I have learned some things, and I'm sure I do a lot of stuff wrong that you guys will point out as well. But either way, I'm gonna get started on this and hopefully make a few more videos for you guys. Alrighty, so all the coolant lines are disconnected now on both sides. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the turbos off, and all of these are V-band clamps, so it's actually pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna pull the feed lines, the drain lines, pop the V-bands and pull it apart in pieces, and get this all out of the way. And then probably move on to the power steering side and get all the lines off of the pump and disconnect it over here. Alrighty, so I got all the air out now. Charge pipes are disconnected. Turbos are out. Charge pipe on this side's out. So I'm gonna move on now to just disconnecting the 3 power steering hoses and get that system to drain. Once that's off on this side, all I have left is my P-pump feed line, which is connected at this T down here, which goes to my fuel pressure gauge. So that'll come off right here. And then my return is wide into my injector return right up here. That goes down with the return line right here into this Y. So I'm gonna pop that off right there. Then the fuel will be disconnected, and then it's just basically a couple gauges. I think I've got my water temperature gauge in the back here somewhere, towards the top, and then I've got my EGT probe on the other side, a couple of starter wires, and then my oil pressure gauge, which is this line right here, this port. So I'm going to pull that off, and then we'll work on the torque converter bolts. And that should be the last piece before we can rip it out. Alrighty, so we got everything disconnected here. All the lines are off, all the sensors are unplugged, and power steering is disconnected. So the next step is just gonna be to pull the converter bolts, and then the adapter plate bolts, obviously. And then we'll be ready to pull this thing out in one piece. So I probably won't film anything down there. It's just kind of a pain to hold the camera and do it all. But if you haven't done it before, basically we're just going to be turning the engine over and getting the flywheel to rotate. And then there's 6 bolts that go through the flex plate into the converter. So we're going to take those 6 bolts out. And then we're going to take the bell housing bolts out around the perimeter, and we should be good to go. Okay, so we got the engine out. I didn't film any of it because it was super sketchy with this gantry that I have, and I just needed to like focus on what I was doing, but there it is all out. And here's the engine on the floor. Just have to clean it up here, and hopefully some people show up to buy this thing, and then we'll be on to the next phase of trying to put a common rail in here. So if that ends up happening, I will update you guys on that. Otherwise, this engine here is just going to get cleaned up and just touch up a couple things, probably repowder some stuff and stick it back in there. But hopefully someone shows up to buy it and we can do the engine swap. So I'll keep you guys updated.